Captain Falcon. What do you think of when you hear those words? Do you think of Sam Wilson's Captain America? Maybe you thought of the guy from Smash. Me, I used to think of the guy from Smash. That was until I played a little game called F-Zero. At the start of high school, I got the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Classic Edition. One of the games installed on the little emulator was a racing game called F-Zero, and ever since that day, I've been a fan. And with the addition of the Ace League to F-Zero 99, and the last two F-Zero games finally being added to the Game Boy Advance through Nintendo Switch Online, I thought I'd take a look back on the series. F-Zero was a 1990 launch title for the Super Famicom, the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo. To show the power of the Super Effects chip in the console, Nintendo made a couple of launch titles using the chip's Mode 7. Mode 7 was a graphics mode that basically took a background sprite and laid it flat so it can be rotated to create the illusion of a 3D environment. One of those games was F-Zero, a single-player, high-speed, futuristic racing game. This game included a comic in the back of the instruction manual showing the immediate events before the game, and also introduced us to the pilots of the playable machines: Dr. Stewart in the Golden Fox, Pico in the Wild Goose, Samurai Goro in the Fire Stingray, and the man himself, Captain Falcon in the Blue Falcon. If you've ever played Smash, you'd know the captain has his Blue Falcon as his final smash, and a, not to scale, airship called the Falcon Flyer, which was only ever seen in the manual comic. This is because inspiration for the game surprisingly came from Batman 1989 after co-creator Kazunoubu Shimizu watched the movie. F-Zero has 3 modes: Records for a collection of your stats, Practice to eliminate any skill issue, and the main mode, Grand Prix. There are 3 GPs named after the Knight, Queen, and King pieces in chess, and have 5 tracks consisting of 5 laps each. There are also 9 track themes: Mute City, Big Blue, Sand Ocean, Deathwind, Silence, Port Town, Red Canyon, Whiteland, and Firefield. Most of these themes are planets, but a few of them may be on the same planet, so for now I'll continue describing them as themes. Side note, despite many of the track themes being reused, only Whiteland has songs for both. I couldn't find a stated reason for why this is, but my guess is that the 2 tracks are placed next to each other in the Queen League. Even though they aren't official, there are fan versions for the repeat track themes. My favorite is the F-Zero expanded soundtrack by Cosmic Tales. F-Zero has 2 signature mechanics that are series mainstays: Machine Energy and Boosts. Machine Energy is a health bar that is depleted when you hit literally anything and can be recharged at pit strips. If your machine loses all its energy, you better hope you got more machine lives, because if your current one runs out, well, just see for yourself. There are also 2 ways to boost in this game: Super Jets and Boost Pads. The Super Jet is a one-time use boost that you get after you complete a lap, and Boost Pads are panels on the track that launch you forward. If you get too far from the other racers, the game spawns in bumper machines to get in your way and slow you down to make sure you don't get too far ahead. The series would add a pseudo-sequel by way of the Satellaview, a Super Famicom add-on that received broadcasts to play games. Basically the first gaming streaming service. The Satellaview was a failed product and ended up only ever releasing in Japan. This will become a common theme. BS F-Zero Grand Prix and BS F-Zero Grand Prix 2 added new tracks and new machines to the game. The 4 machines are the Blue Thunder, the Luna Bomber, the Green Amazon, and the Fire Scorpion. BS F-Zero shuffled the existing cups to include new tracks at the end of each Grand Prix. A new track theme, Sandstorm, got 2 tracks. Sandstorm 1, 2, and the new Silence 2 were added at the end of the base game GPs, and Big Blue 2 closed out the new Ace League. The Ace League started with a repeat of Mute City 1 and contained the other tracks shuffled out of their original positions. BS2 put all the new tracks into a proper Ace League, replacing Mute City 1 with a brand new Mute City 4. It also introduced 2 more track themes, 3 forest tracks, and 2 metaphor tracks. Most of BS 1 and 2 was preserved, but there is some information about the forest and metaphor tracks that is considered lost media. After this, F-Zero would move to the Nintendo 64 with F-Zero X, making the leap to true 3D. X takes place an unspecified number of years after the first game. Due to a crash during a previous Grand Prix, F-Zero was cancelled before making a return in this game. X would bring back almost all of the track themes from the base game of the first F-Zero, only leaving out Deathwind. But it introduced 5 new themes: Devil's Forest, The Sectors, Rainbow Road, Space Plant, and Big Hand. The 3 Grand Prix of this game have 6 tracks, this time with 3 laps each, and are named after playing card suits. It also has 2 unlockable cups. This is the game that introduced specific names for the tracks, so I'm not going to list them all out, but I'll still put up a picture of them all. And yes, that is the same Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 64. F-Zero X changed quite a bit of the formula established by F-Zero. The Super Jet was no longer one-time use, and was now integrated into the energy meter. So after the first lap, you can boost until your energy meter is completely depleted. As long as you make sure to recharge every lap, you'll be fine. One new feature of this is that if your machine loses all its energy, there's a few seconds before it explodes where you can still cross the finish line if momentum allows for it. This change to the boost massively sped up the gameplay. X increased the total number of racers from 4 with a bunch of snails to 30 racers, all with unique machines. It also added 2 brand new modes: a versus mode where 2 to 4 players can race each other in split screen, and Death Race, an infinite lap battle where you have to use the new side attack and spin attack to destroy the other machines. It would later get a physical expansion kit for the N64 disk drive, an add-on that read discs to basically add DLC to games at the time. The disk drive also wasn't a huge success and was again only released in Japan. It added a limited number of new versions of select machines, 2 new cups, enhanced music, a machine editor, and a track editor. It was also during this time that Captain Falcon would be included in the very first Super Smash Bros. Never having been physically playable, he didn't have anything to pull from for his moveset, so the developers created one for him, giving him his signature fiery moves that we all love today. The 2000s would see a huge spike in F-Zero. In 2001, the Game Boy Advance would get its first F-Zero game, Maximum Velocity. This game was pretty detached from the rest of the series, taking place 25 years after the original game. None of the veteran pilots or classic track themes returned, with the exception of Firefield. Instead, it features an all-new cast of characters and track themes. This one went back to the Mode 7 graphics and playstyle of the SNES. It also brought back the 5-track, 5-lap Grand Prix format. 2003 would see multiple releases. The GameCube saw the release of the best F-Zero game to date, F-Zero GX. This game added a goofy yet nearly impossible story mode set after F-Zero X, and brought back the machine builder. GX also kept the 5-track GPs, but like X, cut the laps to 3. It also added its fair share of track themes, those being Casino Palace, Lightning, Aeropolis, Green Plant, Cosmo Terminal, Phantom Road, and Outer Space. This time the track themes left out would be Silence, Red Canyon, Whiteland, Devil's Forest, The Sectors, Rainbow Road, Space Plant, and Big Hand. It also had an arcade version called AX that was designed to connect to the console version through GameCube memory cards. Through this, the 10 AX pilots and the AX Cup could be unlocked. The only track missing from the AX Cup is Mute City, Sonic Oval, though it is available in story mode. The AX Cup and pilots can still be unlocked through the base game, but it is much easier to track down an AX cabinet. Trust me on this. The franchise would also get a 51-episode anime adaptation called Falcon Densetsu, following a new character, Ryu Suzaku. who, after sustaining critical injuries in the 2003 modern day, finds himself waking up in the F-Zero world. A game loosely based on the anime for the GBA, called GP Legend, also came out in 2003, and adopted the changes from X and GX. This is the first game in the series to have tracks change depending on cup difficulty. This game would reuse all the themes from the SNES, except for Deathwind once again, but would borrow Lightning from GX and introduce a new theme, Mistflow. There is something I neglected to mention. As the series went on, each new entry progressively sold worse as time went on. No game after Maximum Velocity sold over 1 million units. Because of this, the last F-Zero game, released in 2004, ironically called Climax, would never make it out of Japan, reportedly only selling roughly a week 5,000 copies, according to the Game Data Library. That's 5 times less than Concord sold. This game is a sequel to GP Legend and had the most tracks in the series. It also included a 2D track editor in the base game. The English dub of the anime also wasn't well received, and would be cancelled, despite the whole dub being complete. Only 15 dubbed episodes would ever see the light of day. Because of these embarrassing sales, Nintendo likely saw no reason to support the franchise, and left it to die. Over the next 2 decades, F-Zero would only make appearances in other games. Captain Falcon was the mainstay in Smash by this point, and would continue to appear as a playable fighter. Samurai Goro would also be added to Brawl as an assist trophy. During this console generation, the GX version of the Blue Falcon would be added as a lightweight cart in Mario Kart Wii. On the Wii U, F-Zero was the closest it's been to getting a new game. Criterion, the studio behind Burnout, was asked to make a demo for a new F-Zero to be shown at E3 2011. Unfortunately, the company couldn't spare the resources at the time, as they were working on Need for Speed Most Wanted. As for actual projects that saw the light of day, F-Zero was featured in Nintendo Land, where it would get its own minigame, Captain Falcon's Twister Race. After skipping out on Mario Kart 7, the Blue Falcon would make a return in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Using its SNES design this time, the Blue Falcon was part of the first DLC pack, bringing with it the first new iteration of Mute City in 10 years. A new Big Blue would also appear in the second and last DLC pack for the original Mario Kart 8. Oddly enough, Captain Falcon would sit this one out, despite other Nintendo characters Link, Isabelle, and Villager making it in with their tracks. An argument could be made that he didn't make it in due to his Mii costume, which does feature a unique design, but Link and Animal Crossing in general both have Mii costumes as well. This is unrelated, but Pac-Man and Mega Man and Sonic all have Mii costumes in this game as well. And I mean, it kind of makes sense because they all have, like, their companies are all pretty chummy with Nintendo. But it is just kind of weird, just, you know, seeing these non-Mario characters in Mario Kart alongside a Mii version of Captain Falcon when he easily could have made it in. Anyway, when Mario Kart 8 was ported to the Switch as 8 Deluxe, the Inkling was added as a character, but Captain Falcon was still left out. It seemed that the Captain was doomed to be forever stuck in Smash. The September 14th, 2023 Nintendo Direct is a day that will go down in F-Zero history. After years of waiting for any F-Zero news, Nintendo dropped F-Zero 99, a Nintendo Switch Online exclusive title that pits 99 players against each other in an elimination-style updated version of the classic SNES title. F-Zero 99 is built using true 3D, masking it using the style of the original game. The tracks are made wider to account for the massive increase in players, now being 4 laps instead of 5, and the physics would be slightly tweaked, making it a better experience for newcomers. It also took the boost and attack mechanics from the later F-Zero games. The game launched with only the Night League tracks, but the Queen and King Leagues would be added over the next few weeks. It also launched with a variety of unlockable medals, decals, boosts, and spin attacks that are original to this game. As mentioned earlier, this is an NSO exclusive game. This is the first F-Zero game to have online multiplayer, and to take advantage of this, 99 split the tracks between casual in the standard 99 mode and pro tracks, as well as adding a team battle mode for even more casual play. Full Grand Prix are in a separate mode that cycles through every few hours. Classic mode would be added later, pitting 20 players in a recreation of the original F-Zero gameplay style. Mirror and secret tracks would also be added into the track pool, the mirror tracks getting their own full GPs. Nintendo would also take advantage of the live service aspect by changing themes of specific leagues, making the Frozen Night League for winter and the Festival Queen League for summer. The Festival Queen League would also add gems to unlock timed collectibles, as well as the original SNES pilots as rivals, which would give a special medal for beating them in a race. They would also get gold machines for an even harder challenge. October 1st, 2024 is another date that will go down in F-Zero history. On that day, a new update for 99 was shadow dropped with a Twitter announcement. This update celebrated the anniversary of F-Zero 99 by finally adding content from BS F-Zero. This update added the BS Grand Prix machines as decals for the 4 playable machines, and the 5 tracks of the Ace League. Only a few minutes later, Nintendo would also announce that they were going to be adding more F-Zero to the Switch Online's GBA service. GP Legend was finally added nearly 6 months after Maximum Velocity, and for the first time ever, Climax finally saw release outside of Japan. With this, almost all of the F-Zero franchises on Switch. All that's missing now is the 3 Forest tracks and 2 Metal Fort tracks from BS2, the X expansion kit, and the entirety of GX. Okay, I'm in the middle of editing this video and Nintendo literally just updated 99. They brought back the Frozen tracks from last winter for this winter, but they did it with a twist. Not only do the Frozen Night League tracks return, but every track, even their mirror modes, got Frozen variants. The Frozen tracks appear in all the modes except for Classic and Grand Prix. The secret tracks didn't get any Frozen variants either, but I kind of expected that. Shoot, I don't think I mentioned that in the video. Yeah, there's secret tracks in F-Zero 99. A new mode was also added, the Frozen World Tour. In this mode, 9 Frozen tracks are chosen at random, and each track is 3 laps instead of 4. The placements are not solely based on track placements, instead also taking into account KOs, energy boosts, and gem sparks. The smaller detail I noticed before looking at the patch notes is that in team battles, the BSGP machines now use flat colors instead of swapping to the flat colors of the original machines. This is the most significant change in my opinion because it means that more colors and decals are possible for these machines. I also didn't mention it in my initial recording, but because the because the BSGP machines now use the BS Grand Prix machines are decals for the original F-Zero machines, so they don't have any color options or decals, they're just the standard designs. My biggest wish for 99 is there to be more customization for these decals. They don't have to be their own machines, it's fine, I'm fine with them having the same stats, but make them like a body style instead of just a decal so we can get more options for them. Anyways, but it seems like that's probably a pipe dream for now because the flat color decals are only available in team battle. They're not usable outside of that. But another thing I didn't mention in my original recording is that there also is no classic or mirror mode for the Ace League. Nintendo, your move. And then the forest and metal tracks are still unaccounted for with this update. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add. This past year, well, not quite the whole year, but these past few months, October and December specifically, had a lot of content for F-Zero, so I'm wondering if Nintendo is considering bringing it back. With Nintendo, you can never know for sure, but as of now, a new F-Zero game might not actually be that far-fetched anymore. Me personally, I think a new game is just around the corner. Edgar Phoenix here. 2025. Wow, this video went way over schedule. Originally the video was supposed to come out in October, when the Ace League and the GBA games came to NSO in '99. But I kinda got lazy with the script writing and put that off. I didn't finish the script until November, and I didn't even record until the start of December. That's just life, you know? It keeps you away from your passions. Not to say I'm super passionate about this. I mean, I am, but I really hate editing. If you see my past videos, it's just kind of lazy gameplay uploads and like 1 or 2 actual video essay type stuff. I do like making these, but it takes a lot of time that, not to say I don't have, I really don't like to, but I end up procrastinating, and when I start a project, I tend to put it off. Maybe I have commitment issues. Anyway, another issue with it is that I kept changing the script multiple times and I just never got around to recording it. Actually, no, I did record. I recorded back in October, I think, but I listened to it and was like, ew. But anyways, I was trying to get it out before the end of the year, but that didn't work out. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, or a dislike if you didn't. Leave a comment too. I like reading them. And if you like this video, subscribe because I like to do these video essays. I hate editing, but I love writing the scripts for them. I also have a Twitch channel that I don't really use, but go follow me there. Maybe I'll start streaming again. The link is in the description. And go check out Brainrot. It's this collab channel I have between my friends Captain Nixon and MarioFan188. Yeah, go check that out. We're planning a lot of stuff over there. But yeah, have a great rest of your day or night, and good luck in the new year. Man, that's gonna date the video. 「